Hey everybody, hi you guys, come on in here, get us up on our screen here, see how everybody's doing tonight. Let me see here, come on, here we go. No, that's me, it should be me though. Yes it is. Hi everybody, hey, we're live. All right, we got it. Good evening everybody, how are y'all doing tonight? Everybody's doing great. We have a really fun project tonight. Everybody's doing great. We have a really fun project today. I'm going to turn this your way so you can see exactly what we're doing. Look how beautiful this is. Hey Lynn, how are you? Hi people on YouTube, how you doing? This is a Merry Christmas sign from Unique in the Creek. It's a 12-inch metal sign. And this is all shimmer and glitter, you guys. Look at the poinsettias, shimmer glitter all the way around to the berries. This is just simply beautiful. When you see this sign in person, you all, it's really breathtaking. It's gorgeous. So this is the sign we're going to be using tonight. Hey Tina, how are you? And Joan, hi, how are you doing too? This is a large, well, it's a ring board. I think we only have one size ring board, but it's a ring board. That's what we're going to do this on today. You can see the back of this. And I have this sign put on. Now, when you get this sign, there's holes in it. There's a hole here, and there's a hole here already made for you. So all you have to do is attach it either with your zip tie or your pipe cleaner, however you choose to attach it. I chose a zip tie. Just make sure that when you put your sign on, that you have even spaces from here to here and here to here, right? North, south, east, west. You want to make sure that the distance is pretty much the same all the way around the best you can to center this beautiful sign on. Hey, Michelle, how are you? And Kathy, how are you? Kathy with a K, that's right. So this is what we're going to be working on today. And we're going to be putting pipe cleaners on, because the reason I'm going to use pipe cleaners opposed to zip ties is because we're going to be adding things to this. So a zip tie is kind of a final thing. You zip it in and things are tucked in. This I can open up and add more things into. So anytime you're working on a wreath with these boards and you're going to keep adding stuff, it's a great idea to use pipe cleaners, okay? So I've done most of them. I did save a few down here to do. Now I've put these in on the outside only, right? I did not use the inside. You can see back here, there's 3 of them. So 1, 2, 3. I've got the complete outside edge that I'm using all the way around, okay? And we're going to put 1 pipe cleaner in every single one of these holes. So why don't I finish that up for us tonight? Hey Charlie and Deborah, how are you? Good to see you. Right, so we're just going to stick this in here on the edge. I try to line these up the best I can and give it a twist. I just usually give it 1 twist. And then I'll show you the rest of the stuff that we're going to use for tonight, okay? There we go. Give them a twist just like that. And we got 1 more to do. I figured I wouldn't do them all on camera, you guys, to save you the boredom of me putting all these pipe cleaners on, because it's a fairly simple, way to do this here. And so we've got this zip tied on, and we've gotten it all perfectly centered. We've got our pipe cleaners on the very outside hole. There's 3 holes on this board. We got it on the very outside one. And then I'm going to tell you, hi Nancy and Beverly, I'm going to tell you what else we're going to use. We're going to use this 21-inch Deco mesh. It's got the metallics in it. Just a regular metallic Deco mesh, red Deco mesh, and you can probably get this on Craft Outlet. We're also going to be using a couple of these ribbons here. This here is a 1.5-inch ribbon that you can get from Craft Outlet. These are cut 12 inches. And then you can get this one here from Fox Wreath Supplies. She's a new supplier for Laurie. And I cut these 12 inches. Aren't they beautiful? Look at the sparkle on those poinsettias. Going to match our poinsettias here, right? So that's what we have. And I've cut these. And I've got these, I've got 8 of these, because we're only going to be putting ribbons on every other poof that we do here, okay? So there's 8 of these, and there's 8 of these already, both cut at 12 inches. That's pretty much all we've got. Oh, we've got some, we're going to use curls. These are going to be our curls. This one looks a little long, must be an end. Yep, it is. So this is a moss green 10-inch Deco mesh, and I think I got this one on Craft Outlet. You can see if Laurie has it. I don't think I saw it on her page, so I think you can probably get this at Craft Outlet. And I cut these 10 by 10. And that's what we're going to get started with, you guys. So let's get going. So we got our mesh, which is already open here, you all. I've already got a piece of mesh here, or my 21-inch mesh that I've used on another project. So usually when I start an open roll of mesh, I like to cut the edge off so it's fairly straight, because when you end up with some of this mesh, now this one is pretty straight. I must have already cut this, but I'm still going to cut it one more time. Usually when you cut this off, it's all zigzaggy, and I like to start with a straight piece. So I'm just going to cut a couple inches off this to have a fairly straight piece. Now, you know, it's not perfect by any means, but it's going to be fairly straight. All right, and then I'm just going to take this. This is our top side of our mesh, right? So here's the under curl side, the underside that's curled. We're going to take the top side and just hang on to the edge, and I'm going to drop it right down in front of me. So this is the top of our mesh, and then the bottom side. So I'm going to take this and just gather it in my hands here, just like that. I'm going to move you guys in just a little bit, okay? I'm going to move you in so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. And I usually like to keep, maybe a 2-inch or a 3-inch edge on here, kind of just like that. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And then start wherever you want to start on this one, right? So I'm just going to keep my pipe cleaners open here. I'm going to sit this right in here just like that. And I'm going to tie this really tight in here. And I'm going to do that one around twice because I want this to hold on to this really well for me. And now what I'm going to do to make it easier for me is I'm going to go around this whole thing and just open up my pipe cleaners so that they're ready for me to put my poofs in. I'm going to be doing 10-inch poofs with a 21-inch mesh. Okay, 10-inch poofs with a 21-inch mesh. And it just saves time if you go around and open these pipe cleaners for yourself rather than having to stop and open, stop and open. You know, you guys get the drift. And just kind of go like this, right? Just like that. And I think I'm going to take this little tail and give him a haircut, all right? There we go. He got a nice clean tail going on here, right? Got a nice clean tail there. So now what I'm going to do is I've got a measuring tape here so I can measure my 10-inch poofs. I'm just going to hold on to this, and I'm going to take my other hand. I'm just going to gather this up in my other hand, right? And you're going to make sure that your edges of your mesh are folded down. They're facing down. And I'm going to hold this, and I'm going to measure my 10 inches. So I'm at 26, so we've got to go down to 16. So 26 down to 16 makes a 10-inch piece right here. And then I'm just going to kind of pull it back just a little bit. I'm going to stick my hand underneath it and open this up because it just looks good to me. It's easier for me. And I open up my poof so that I can kind of see how big this poof is, right? And then I'm going to take it and put it right in my next pipe cleaner. And that's how that's going to work, just like that. Now, the reason that I put my pipe cleaners on this outside edge and not more toward the inside edge is because this sign is so beautiful that I don't want a lot of my mesh hanging over this inside part of my sign. So I want most of this to be kind of hanging out the back end, but I want enough covering the inside, right? So we make sure that we cover our board, all right? So you're going to do the same exact thing all the way around. I like to kind of hang on to this, take my other hand, grab it and gather. It's a grab and gather, really. And then find a mark wherever you're comfortable on your measuring tape. Go down to your 10 inches. Do the same thing. I push it forward this a little ways, and then I stick my hand under and I open it up. Now, some people go all the way around with their poofs and then come back in and open them up. This is just the way I've done it forever, and I'm going to continue to do it this way. It works for me. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm just going to tie this around once. That's all I need because I'm going to have to untie these to put other stuff in. All right. So that's kind of what we're doing all the way around this board. Now, if you get your first few in and you don't want to measure, you can use these as a measurement. You can just make sure that the rest of your poofs line up with these guys. All right. So I've done this for many, many years. So I don't measure a lot anymore. I just kind of poof these up and kind of get them even with that and stick these in here. However, if you feel better with measuring this, by all means, measure your poofs because you want them to be pretty uniform. I don't want one sticking up here, one sticking way down there. So sometimes I still just hang on to this, find my spot, go down to my 10 inches. It's just easy to measure if you need to do that. There's nothing wrong with measurements, you guys. Hey, you guys. Hi, Laura. Hey, Teeny. Yep. 10-inch poofs with 21-inch mesh is what we're using on here for sure. And we're going to go all the way around and put a poof in each one of these pipe cleaners. All right, you guys? So that's what we're up to. So sometimes I'll pull it through for my numbers, look at it, measure, and away we go. And it doesn't take too long, you guys. It doesn't really take too long on this. It's a pretty easy technique to do. Now, if you're doing this and your edges start curling up, see how this is curled up? Just push it back down. When you get this down, see this curled up here? You can just curl it under like that. Sometimes they will have a mind of their own and they want to curl up, and it's okay. It's okay. If this sits here and it's curled up like that, it's no harm, no foul, really. It's not going to make or break your design, okay? Unless you're that kind of, you know, OCD perfectionist person, you got to have all your edges curled down. Totally up to you guys. So see, now I'm going to end up backing these back just a little bit so they just cover this because I don't want to cover up all these beautiful flowers, which is why I have this mesh on the total outside row of these holes here. Okay? Move this around and around and around. And I think this is going to be absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous here. We have some flowers that we might be adding in. We're going to be adding a ribbon, and we might be adding in some flex tubing. Of course, you know, flex tubing just finishes off the whole thing. It's like the dessert for your dinner. I feel like when I add flex tubing to my wreath, it's like the dessert, right? It's the cherry on top of the cake for my wreath. It kind of completes it for me. Hey Donna, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you guys. And I will be back on here with you guys on Tuesday. I think I'm at 6:30. I gotta look at my schedule. I think I'm 6:30 or 7. I don't know. I gotta look at my schedule. But I will be back on with you guys on Tuesday. So you don't want to miss that. And then we're getting pretty quick into the holidays, you all. So, you know, everybody's busy. Getting busy. Good to see everybody. Laura's out. I was going to see if I see a few more names here. Tina, Dawn's on, Michelle. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody over on YouTube. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate you all. All right, we're just going to continue our way around with our 10-inch poofs and our 21-inch mesh. Okay. So it's looking good already, right? Look how beautiful it's looking already. And we're going to break this red up, right? We have a lot of red. You're like, oh boy, we have a lot of red. Yes, we do. But we're going to break this up with some beautiful moss apple green mesh that we're going to be doing curls with, okay? So we're doing pretty good all the way around here. We just got three or so more to do. And this part is done. This is actually probably going to be a fairly quick project, you all. Fairly quick here. But I'm happy to be spending some time with you on this Saturday night, you all. I'm happy to be spending some time. It was a beautiful day here in Florida. It was about 81 degrees or so. We have a couple hot days here, and then it's going to cool back down just a little bit. Alrighty, so there's that. Get that there. And so we got one, and we're going to end off on the second one. So we got this one left, and then the one we started with is going to be our last hump over there. Our last loop, last hump. I call it a hump. Our last poof. It should be a poof, not a hoop or a lump. I'm thinking a lump of coal, right, for Christmas. Nobody's getting lumps of coal for Christmas. Nobody. Hi, Kathy's Country Gifts. Thank you. Hi from Ohio. Thank you for joining. All right, so we're in our last one. Now this is where we started. So my very last one is going to piggyback this particular tie right here. So I'm going to make my poof from this one. So make your last poof, right? Fluff it out with your hands. And then I'm going to untie this one. I'm going to untie that with my other hand. And I'm going to set this one right between these and piggyback right over that one. And that's my very last poof right there. Okay. Tie them down really good, give them a couple of swirls, and that's where we're going to stop, right there. I'm going to cut this off, you guys. Yep, so we're going to just cut that off. And then we have this tail here. So usually I zip tie these down, and I don't know if I'm going to zip tie this down or not. Let me see what I think I want to do, if I want to put it in underneath here or what I think I want to do. Yeah, I think I'm just going to put this tail, I'm going to zip tie it right down into here. I'm going to get a little zip tie. Oh, probably a big zip tie. Make it easy on myself. Make it easy on myself. And then I'm just going to take, this is the ending one, I'm going to take these two here and put my zip tie right through the bottom there. So when you cut your tail off, leave yourself enough tail just to tack it down. And then just take this clop of tail right here, you can see that. I'm going to zip tie it right in there so that he doesn't cause any trouble, right? Want to keep him out of trouble, keep him tied down. And then we'll just cut that off. And then we'll pretend that nothing happened there, right? Nobody's going to know that we tucked a tail underneath there, right? Can't even see. So that part is that. Now, let's go through and put our curls in. Alrighty? So we're going to do curls in every other tie, all right? So we've got ties in every hole. Every other one, I'm going to put my curls in, okay, you guys? And the reason that I'm doing that is I found that if I try to put the curls in every single space, it ends up being too cluttered. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these. This is 10 by 10, right? 10 by 10. I've got this to hold my curls with. It's my bow dabber, and he holds my curls just right. So just take your 10 by 10. You're going to do curl side up, and then you're just going to roll it. Just roll it, roll it, roll it. And you can roll it as tight or as loose as you want. That's about how mine is right there. And then I stick it right inside here, like that. I'm going to roll the other one up, just like that. This one's just a little bit longer. And then I'm going to cross these guys. And I'm going to take them, I'm going to put them right in here. So I'm going to untie this. I'm going to stick these right in here. Make sure they're even. They're pretty even, just like that. And I'm going to spread them apart because right in the middle down through here is where I'm going to put my ribbons. All right, so I'm just going to spread those apart, and then I'm going to skip this one here so you can see how close this is, right? So you can see how close this is. So I've got one here. My next one would normally go right here, but that's going to be way too tight. So I'm going to skip this one and put it on the very next one, okay? So every other for your curls, all right? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go all the way around here. We're going to do our curls as tight or as loose as you want. Sometimes I make them a little bit smaller than this, but tonight I'm going to put them just about like that. And we'll roll this one. And it goes pretty darn quick. And I'm just going to take it and kind of put it in an X. And then I'm going to skip this one and go right on to the next one and open that up, and stick these guys right in here. All right, and then I'm going to make them so that they all look about the same. You want to make sure that you don't have one sticking way up here and one sticking way down. So if you feel you need to adjust it, just pull them a little bit. until you get them the way you want them. And that's the way that we're going to roll with this whole entire project here. Thank you, Tina. Thank you. And we'll just roll right along. Just going to roll them, roll them, roll them. Stick these guys in, skip this one, move right on to the next one here, and slide that baby right in there, just like that. All right. And just like that, like that. Perfect. See, they're already pretty curled for you. You know, you're already pretty curled. But I like to unroll them, just to roll them just a little bit tighter than that. This one here is kind of rolled for you, but I'm going to unroll it, put a little bit tighter, just like that. And I'm going to cross them up, skip my next zip tie, go to the next one, and put this right in here like that. So easy peasy, right, you guys? Not too difficult. This one is a pretty easy project to go here. And we'll bring some more of our curls on over here. There we go. And we'll get this looking pretty. We'll get this looking super duper pretty, just like that. Cross them up. Skip the zip tie, put this one in here. Tie them right up. So after this, I'm probably going to go into the in-between ones and twist all those zip ties off, because we're not going to be using those for really anything, you guys, other than our poofs. So I'm probably going to go twist them off, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Like that. Skip the I keep calling them zip ties, you guys. You know what I'm talking about. They're pipe cleaners. It's because mostly we mostly use zip ties on these, but tonight we're using pipe cleaners. So I got to get my verbiage right. You're like, yes, we know what you mean. We know what you mean. Get these about even before I stick that right in there, just like that. Spread these apart just like that. So see how pretty that's coming? We're going to bring in some of this green. And then after a while, we're just going to move this back a little bit here so we can see the Merry Christmas. Once we're all done, we'll be able to see that beautiful Merry Christmas on there. I think this is the most beautiful sign, you guys. I think what makes it so beautiful is the sparkle on all the letters and on the poinsettias. It's just so vibrant when you have it, when you see it in person. So we're using our ring board tonight. We're using the ring board. Alrighty, couple more to go. Maybe looks like I might be short one. Maybe not. Maybe I have one over. Let's see. Let's see if we have one too many or one too few. You never know. Alrighty, cross that over. Skip this one. No, we're just about on the money. So we got one extra. One extra here. Alrighty, so there's that. So let's get that out of the way. And this is what we have so far. It's a little wonky looking, but I promise you it's going to straighten itself out beautifully. So that's what we have. Okay, now what I'm going to do is these in-between ones, you guys. I don't think I'm going to do anything with that, but I don't think I'm going to. So I'm going to just take those in-between ones and I'm going to twist them like 3 or 4 times. We're going to take our clippers and clip it off. And then we're going to take these guys and we're just going to twist them down in, all right? So that's what we're going to do with all the ones that we didn't use, which are 8 of them. There's 8 of them because there's 16 on the board and we used half of these. So we're going to twist this so there's about maybe 1 inch of a pipe cleaner left. And then we're just going to tuck it down. And let me show you what I mean. So I've just twisted it and tucked it right in there. This one right there. All right, that's what we're doing to all of the ones that we don't use. That way they're not in our way, right? They won't be in our way. Hopefully I held that up to the camera right. And you guys saw it okay. I hope so. And you can do all this later, you guys, but I'm going to try to get it done. I want to get it all done now. It doesn't take that long to do on camera, so I'll just get them all tucked in nicely now. That way we don't have to deal with them when we're all done, right? Once we get all the foo-foos on here, then we don't want to be trying to come back through everything and get these guys twisted down, right? We want to make sure that we don't have to go through all that trouble to make this look pretty, right? Okay. All the way around and round and around we go. Anybody have any questions thus far? I'd be happy to answer your questions while I'm live here. So if you have any questions on what I did or what I'm doing, yes, follow me on my page, Kathy Dyer Wreath. You guys, there's a lot of videos on my page. I haven't gone live really recently. Well, I did go live the other day and I did bake something. I cooked something. Well, I didn't really cook it or bake it. I made something. How about that? And there's a lot of wreathing videos that you can go back and look at too, you guys. So go ahead and give my page, Kathy Dyer Wreath, a shout. Alrighty, so we got that done. We got those guys all done. It looks like everybody's tucked in where they're supposed to be. Now what we're going to do is put our ribbons on you all. Alright, so we're going to do our ribbons. And that here, again, was this poinsettia ribbon. Now, you can find this particular ribbon on Fox Wreath Supplies, who now carries Laurie's boards. Fox Wreath Supplies. And then we got this one on Craft Outlet. And they're all cut 12 inches. So let's see what we can do here to make these beautiful. Now, I got to make up my mind how I want these ribbons to lay. I haven't made up my mind yet. So we might be trying a couple of things here on how these ribbons go. So the first one I'm going to try is I'm just going to put this one here like this. I'm just going to put this one here like that. And then I'm going to take this one and I'm really going to kind of make an X with this. All right, I'm going to X this whole ribbon. And then I'm just going to take this in the middle, try to make sure that these are even on each side. And then I'm just going to take it from the bottom here and scrunch it up. And that kind of gives me an X. And then I can adjust these as I need to. So that's kind of how that looks. It looks a little wonky. So I'm going to try it this way and see if I like it. And if I don't, I'm going to do it a different way. So this is a trial and error thing to see just what we think of this in this position. So that and that, that's how I'm going to do it because I want this to cover this edge and this side and this side. I don't want it to cover out here. I want it to cover these guys. So that's how I'm going to put it in an X shape, just like that. All right. So we'll open you back up again so you know exactly how I did that. I'll do it again here. And that's going on every one of our green curls that we put in there, all right? So just put this down straight across, come in on a diagonal with these holly berries. So we got the poinsettias beautiful with the holly berries beautiful. And then take the bottom here and scrunch it up so it kind of looks like wonky. And then you're just going to try to make sure that this side and this side are kind of even, and this one are kind of even. And then open up your pipe cleaner. I said pipe cleaner this time instead of zip tie. I know you're proud of me. And then give that a good stuck in there and twist it off. And then we can kind of play with these a little bit. So you can see why I only did these. If I did put another one in, if I did every one, there'd be one in between here. And it wouldn't really give these ribbons a chance to shine, right? I want these ribbons all prettied out like this and a chance to shine because they're so pretty. And if I had one stuck in the middle here where the other pipe cleaner was, they'd be all kind of smushed. So that's why I chose to go every other one on this particular one, all right? And then we're going to come in and make this pretty, even prettier yet after this. So you wait and see what we're going to do with this. Again, put this on here. So I'm going to move right along here with this now, you guys. Now that you know how to do it, I'm going to move right along. And if they're not even, go ahead and push or pull or whatever you got to do to make these guys even, all right? And then just open this up and stick them on in here. And that's going to be that. And these are cut 12 inches. Both pieces are cut 12 inches. Both the 2.5 and the 1.5. And that's certainly beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We'll get these going. And we might even be doing a bow on this. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to do a bow. I don't know how I'm going to finish it yet. So we'll have to see as we get along on this. We'll see what it looks like and we'll see what we think it needs. And if we think it needs a bow, we're going to place one on there. If we don't, then we won't. Right? You have to kind of wait and see how these projects work out before I make my mind up about how I want to do them. And we can fuss with these ribbons a little bit afterwards if we want, just to make them look even prettier. Hi Eileen, you're late but it looks nice. Well, I'm glad you could join us. You can go back and watch the replay at your convenience. See what we did in the beginning. Replays are always available, you guys, on both YouTube and the Unique in the Creek page. So don't be afraid to go back and look at those. If there's something special you want to catch, a technique or something that somebody did, go back and catch those. Because you can always slow it down. You can always speed it up just a little bit. So it's a great thing about going to watch replays is you can go back and watch what you think you want to watch again. All right, one more space here. All right, this is our last, really our last ribbon that we're going to put in. Oops. Let me get my curls fixed up just a little bit here. I want them laying a certain way here. All right, and this is how it looks so far, right? So we'll move these back afterwards. I'll kind of shove these back just a little bit afterwards, but that's pretty, right? All right, now it's still a little barren looking, right? It's pretty, but it's not really pretty. So let's start making it really pretty, okay? So what we're gonna do, we are gonna use our flex tubing. Now there's a surprise. And I've also got, I've got these mini, I wanna show you guys. I got these mini little poinsettias here on this chain, and I just can take them off. They got really sparkly things in here, and I'm thinking of using some of these maybe to put inside here afterwards. I got some of those. I also have some of these berries, which I just love these berries on here. So I love these. These are really pretty. These will go really pretty in there as well. But we're going to do flex tubing first, and then we're going to fiddle with some of this stuff, okay? So here's what I've got. So I'm running with the colors that we have here, right? So we've got these colors. We got the greens, we got the reds, and we got the whites. Pretty traditional Christmas. And there's gold inside these poinsettias here, all in sparkles. So I've got exactly those colors right here. And I'm either going to use all of them or most of them. So let's put a couple colors together. Well, I'll probably put all the colors together. You know me. I'm going to use like every one of these colors because that's just what I do. So we're going to probably use all these guys and make it pretty. You know, instead of make it like Kathy, it's going to be make it pretty like Kathy, right? Make it pretty. Now, I use old pipe cleaners, you guys, to tie up my flex tubing with because it works really well. So I'm going to take all of these colors, all these beautiful, beautiful colors. I love them. And the green. I'm a real traditional Christmas color gal, you guys. I do love the blues. And I love the reds and the greens and the golds and the silvers and all that. I love all of that. Where's the, I'm looking for an end. If you see me have a blank look here, it's because I'm looking for the end of this. Now I'm just taking all those and put them on the floor in front of me. And this is what I've got right here to use. Okay. So what I like to do is I like to take about an inch of this right here and just hold it in my hand. And I'm going to pull all of these guys into one loop of a bow. Right? I just freehand it like that. Depends how big I think I want these, and I'll measure it for you in a minute. And you can kind of put it down to see what you want, and then take the other one and do the same thing. Just make another loop there, and then there's your bow. And I'm going to just take this here, and I'm going to untie. I'm going to untie the pipe cleaner, and this is going to be my first bow inside here. Now, I'm not going to cut this off like I usually do, and I'm going to show you why. We're going to do things a little bit different tonight. Usually I make my bow loops and then I cut this off usually. We're not going to do that tonight. I'm going to make my bow loops, and then I'm going to take all 4 of these, and I'm kind of going to just trail them right over to the next space here, right? And I like to keep them in some sort of order in the way at which they're falling here on my bow. So I'm going to try to keep them like there's a green, red, a white, and a gold. Let me bring you in a little closer, right? There's the green, red, white, and gold. I'm going to try to keep those in that position when I transfer them over to my next batch of ribbon here. So I'm just going to take that, and I'm not going to pull it real tight. I'm going to leave a little bit of slack there, and then I'm going to pinch it. I'm going to measure my pinch down to here to make sure I have enough slack here, or not too much. And then I'm going to start making my other bow from there. Just make that other bow just like that, just like I did the first one. There's my next bow. You can make it as big or as little as you want. I'm going to hang on to that. I'm going to untie this pipe cleaner and stick that next bow right in there, so we're not cutting any of our flex tubing. We're just kind of jumping from one space to the next. Now, if these don't stay in order, you guys, don't freak out. It's okay if these don't stay perfectly in order. It doesn't matter. In fact, it looks pretty cool. So don't worry about having them all in a straight order, because they might want to do their own thing, and that's okay. Right? So they're not in a straight order. They're kind of wonking, but that's all right. And I have it just enough so it kind of humps over there. I'm going to turn it around and bring it right into my next one. So I'm going to grab all 4 of these guys, and I'm going to hump it right over to the next one, right? Right over to the next one here. I'm going to gauge how much space I have between here and here, and put that down here like that to make sure it's not too loose or too tight. And that looks about right to me, so I'm going to grab that. I'm going to make my loops. Now these loops are about, let me measure them for you. They're about, I'm going to say they're about 3 to 4 inches, about 3.5 inches each one of these loops about. And I'll do the same thing there and just eyeball that, and then undo this and put it in here. And so that space that we had over here that we had nothing, remember we curled down our pipe cleaners here, that space is being kind of brought together and bridged with this flex tubing, all right? And we're going to have to fix some of our ribbon here. I can see we can fix some of that because this is kind of gone a little wonk wonk on me, but we'll fix that afterwards and get these guys all prettied up, okay? All right, so then we're just going to continue around the rink just like that all the way through. Now you can use 1, 2, 3, you can use as many different colors of flex tubing as you want. I usually use 3. Today's a little bit different. I've got 4 in here because I did want to capture some of that gold that was in these poinsettias here. So that's why I've chosen to use 4 today, because I just want to capture that gold a little bit. Oops, I can get my red. I've only got 3 of them there, so I've got to capture that red here as well. Capture all 4 of your tubing here, and then make your loops for your ribbons, and away you go. Right? So it's pretty easy to do. Now, if you're more comfortable at making these loops and not continuing it over and just cutting them off as you go each time you go, that's fine too. If you don't want to do this technique, you don't have to. You can do whatever is easier for you. You can just make your loops, cut it off, then start again, that type of deal. But I just thought this would be something just a little bit different over here to kind of go make it pretty all the way around, right? That looks good there. Let's see here. I think we'll do that like that. And then just make our loops. And you can make them as big or as small as you want. Totally up to you guys. But we are going to put some flowers on top of. And I'm just going to move these aside here so we get these guys where I want them to be. My flex. There we go. Make sure they're all showing. Come up here. All right, there they go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good. Move ourselves around. And we're going to scooch right on into the next one. We'll make it just a little bit here. That looks about right for me. If one of these ends up getting too loose here, just pull it back by one of your loops. Okay. And if you don't want to undo your pipe cleaners each and every time, you don't have to. I like to. I like the way they settle in nice and deep. So that's why I undo my pipe cleaners each and every time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I want to make sure I got all 4 of these in here. And I do. One's underneath there, which I don't quite like. Go. And we'll move it right on in here. And we'll measure one more time. Measure these guys. I feel like this one's a little big. I'm probably going to cut that one down just a little bit. That first one I was a little rambunctious on, and I think the loops are just a tad too big, so I'm going to pull them back just a little bit so that they look pretty with everything else. And we just got a couple more to go here, and we're good to go. Well, that's pretty easy, right? That's pretty easy. Hi from Arkansas. Welcome in, YouTubers. Facebook YouTubers. And we'll stuff this in just like that. And give it a twist. And we got one more, so I'm going to make, so we've got, this was our last one, this was our first one. I'm going to take one more connection between here with these 4 pieces of flex tubing and go from here to here, and no more bows. We're just going to tie it off here, okay? We're at the very end, so we're just going to tie that off. I don't need to make a loop. We're just going to tie it in here somehow. Somehow is how we're going to do it. But I'm going to move these guys down a little bit. And in order to make these smaller, I'm just going to grab the ends of each of them and start pulling and adjusting these loops. Because I think, like I said, I think they're a little too, they feel a little big for me. So I'm going to adjust them out a little bit here. Let's see. Looking for my gold loop here and my white loop here, and then we'll just cut the ends off as we see fit. The ones that are too long we'll just cut off. That one's a little long right there. Okay, that's good. So we've got some here sticking out that I pulled through because they were too big, and we're just going to cut those off a little bit, and then we're just going to hook this one right in here with these guys. I don't think I'm going to open this last one up all the way because I don't want my flex tubing to jump out. So I'm just going to put this over the top of it and then cut it off. And that's it for the flex tubing. Okay, so that added quite a bit. Now what I'm going to do is run through and just get our ribbons kind of the way we want them, because I'm going to be adding, I think, the flowers in the middle of this flex tubing. And in order to do that, if I glue it, I want to make sure that my ribbons are where I want them, because don't start gluing anything if the ribbons aren't where you want them. Otherwise, they're glued kind of to some of the ribbon, and you won't be able to rearrange your ribbon the way you want them. So before you glue your stuff, just make sure that everything looks good in the ribbon department the way that you want it to look, okay? So take a few minutes to do that, which we are going to do, right? And all kinds of junk over here, right? All kinds of goods. And let's see, yep, see, we need to get this fixed. We need to get this one fixed. This one's a little wonky. We might need to even those out just a little bit. That there and here. There we go. You see how pretty that is? Look how beautiful this is turning out, right, you guys? And it's so simple. This is an easy one to do for you all. All right, this looks pretty good to me. All right, now we have to decide what we're going to put in the middle of all of these guys here. So I don't, let me see, I was going to say I don't anticipate putting any more in here, and I was going to cut these off, but I'm not quite sure yet. So let's just see. So it's a matter of putting some of these little poinsettias in here. Now, if I did that, I'd have to take them off here. They have little spots of gold on them, just like the ribbon does. So let me do a little test run here to see how that's going to look. So I've got one here that's just a little one, actually. He'd just be sitting right down in there just like that. Or I can use one of these guys, which is a little bit bigger. Now, they came on this chain. They come on this chain, you guys. These were given to me, but I think Michael's sold or Joanne sold something like this years ago, and I don't know if you can still get them or not. Maybe Hobby Lobby even. There's no tag. I don't know. I got these from a garage sale by me, so that's what I'm using. So I'm going to just take this part off here because we won't be using that part at all. And then I'm going to see if I like this as opposed to the little flower. So let's do a comparison of what we think here. So this is what we have. We have either the little flower that's stuck in here, or we have these berries that are stuck in there. What do you guys like? Tell me which one you like, the little flower or the berries. We'll give you guys a choice. Flower or berries? Let's hear it. What you think? You saw the poinsettia chain. You did, Ruth. Okay, good. Eileen likes the berries. Berries. Poinsettia. Berries. Berries. Holly. The holly berries. I like the berries too. I wasn't going to say anything because I didn't want to influence anybody, but I like the berries too. So let's go with the berries. Let's go with the berries. And you know why we think we like the berries? It just adds a little more presence up into our wreath, okay? So let's grab some of these. And now we do have a few that come on. We have a little bit of a pine cone here too. A couple pine cones on this. So I'm just going to take this, you guys. Now some of these, you guys, even have gold on them. Ooh, that's pretty too. But I think we need to do them kind of all the same. And I don't think I want the gold. So we're just going to do the berries. So I'm going to cut them off. Oh, we got a couple here that kind of came off themselves. So let's do these guys right here. Those look pretty good. So we'll just kind of strip these off here. And I only need 8 of them, okay? So there's 1, here's 2. Now, if you get something like this, you guys, and you need to steam it, by all means, if they're looking a little wonky, then go ahead and steam these out. I had steamed some other flowers today that I thought I was going to use, and then I chose not to. But don't be afraid to steam some of these guys out if you need to, okay? Let's see. All right, that looks good. And we're just going to clip these guys off here. Yep, goes with the other ribbon. So there's 1, 2, there's 3. And like I said, we need 8 of these. So let's put this aside. And let's concentrate on our chain of flowers here. And we'll just cut it down. Now, you guys, this is a perfect time to go to your garage sales and pick stuff up, like or garage sales, or your people that are throwing stuff away like this. They do that all the time. So there's 4. I'm going to do ones without the silver, without the gold, I mean. There's 5. I kind of want, this has a little lighter in it. I don't want to use that. I kind of want all the dark green. I want them all to match, right? So there's 6, and then we'll just glue those in, all right? And 7, and one more. Here's 8 right here. And we'll glue these guys in, okay? So there we go. Get those out of our way. And yeah, you can do a few pine cones if you want with this. They do come with pine cones, so I'm sure we could find a spot for pine cones on this too. All right, so let's glue these in. So we've got one here. This one has a little thing on it, so I'm going to find a new one because that's pretty noticeable. So I'm going to do another one, okay? Let's see here. Okay, there we go. All right, so now I'm just going to take this and just get the bottom of this and glue it. I'm going to glue that right on into, right on into here. Actually, what I'm going to do first, you guys, is we're going to tie these off now. So we have to do something with these pipe cleaners. So I'm going to tie them off just like I did the other ones before we add our poinsettia, our berries in there, okay? Let's just add these in here, and that just gives it a beautiful, beautiful presentation right there, right? So we'll run around and we will take this and we'll tie this one off too because we're done with them. We're not going to add any more into that. We're going to add more onto it, but not onto these guys. So we'll just turn that out. Put this in. We got a pretty big thing there. And give all this a little bit of glue. And we're going to tuck it right in between all of this wonderful stuff. And it really gives it a beautiful presentation. I think it really just ties all this in together. Everything in together. And I don't think we're going to need a bow. Everything doesn't have to have a bow, right? But we could try and see if we liked a bow. I don't know where I'd put the bow yet. Probably somewhere on this bottom corner or down here. If I choose to make one. We'll have to see, you guys. Hey, Shirley Meyer. How are you? And it has a lot to stick to here, so these will stick really, really nicely here. Really pretty, right? Isn't that coming out really pretty? And we're going to get this topped off here. And I'll twist this one off while I'm here. Might as well do them both. And twist them on. I'm just twisting it right down into, in the middle of this flex tubing, right down into your project here. So I'm twisting that right down into the project. See how that pipe cleaner is stuffed right down in there, you guys? That's the way you want it. It is very pretty. I think it's pretty too. I love this. I love these traditional colors so much. Down in there. And then what's good about the flex tubing is it kind of hugs all of this stuff. So you can arrange your flex tubing around that if you want to. So it kind of has a little bit on each side. Kind of like a flex tubing flower, if you will. That goes beautiful with that. And then we'll get this guy twisted off. And then we'll be kind of almost done, you all. Just 2 more to go. 2 more to go. And you see how fast this came together? So pretty, so quickly, so easy with these boards, so easy with this sign, right? Laurie makes everything easy for us. Now the sign, you guys, came already with the holes in it. So I didn't even have to put the holes in the side. It came with the holes already in it. All you have to do is attach it in your desired location, right? A lot of people put these signs off to the side and decorate around it. I was choosing tonight just to kind of decorate around the whole thing, something just a little bit different. But you guys can certainly do this exact same thing with this beautiful sign and this Unique in the Creek ring board. All right, I think that's about it. Now, let me face it toward me for a second. And I want to adjust my curls, my poofs a little bit. Now, I don't think they're going to adjust much, quite frankly, you guys. They're pretty set in their ways, but I want to bring it back what I can so you can make sure we see the Merry Christmas and everything and kind of go like that. And then you're going to put, of course, at the top, you guys, you're going to put the top of the board. We have our, you're going to put your hook on to hold it with, to hang it up with. So look how beautiful that turned out. Right, super gorgeous, isn't it? Love this. I think these were great, and I think that the flex tubing certainly, I love the flex tubing around the humps here. I love how that just joins everything together, right? Everything together. It's just beautiful. Right, thumbs up if you guys like this project. Thumbs up. Thumbs up or hearts, whichever. Super gorgeous pretty. Super gorgeous pretty. Alrighty, you all, thank you so much for joining me. I invite you back on Tuesday night, and I'm not sure if it's 6:30 or 7, but I'll check that out, and it'll be posted for you all. I'll be back on this page on Tuesday night. In the meantime, you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I will catch you next week. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for the hearts and the thumbs up. I really do appreciate you guys. I'll catch you all next week. Have a great one, you all. Bye-bye.